A bacteria that can be deadly to anyone with a weakened immune system was found in lotion sold across America. But pump the wrong bottle and what you're really rubbing in is parabens, fragrance allergens, and petroleum residues disguised as gentle care. This is a product you smooth into your skin every single day, sometimes twice a day, often right onto cracks and thin spots, and your skin drinks in whatever it touches, straight past the barrier. The label says healing. The lab results and recall notices say something very different, and you've been trusting that label for years, maybe for decades. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which 7 moisturizer brands failed safety checks, including 2 most people consider dermatologist-grade and completely trustworthy. Plus, the 2 brands that actually earn the word safe and deserve a permanent spot in your cabinet. Coming in at number 7, Jergens. That tall pump bottle has sat on bathroom counters for generations. Affordable, fast-absorbing, promising deep hydration for dry and aging skin. Most people pump it without a second thought. Then 2021 happened. Several Jergens Ultra Healing Lotion products were recalled after contamination with a bacteria called Burkholderia capacia. Read that name slowly because it matters. This is not a mild germ. For anyone with a weakened immune system, it can cause bloodstream infections, pneumonia, and complications that send people to the hospital. And here is the part nobody warned you about. Adults over 50 living with diabetes, kidney disease, or any condition that lowers immunity face a far higher risk of severe infection from contaminated lotion. You smooth it onto skin that may already have tiny cracks, cuts, or thinning from age. That bacteria does not stay on the surface. It looks for a way in. A product called Ultra Healing was doing the opposite of healing. Think about how lotion feels. Cool, slick, soothing as you rub it into dry hands before bed. You trust that sensation completely. You never imagine living bacteria riding in with it. That is exactly why contaminated lotion is so dangerous. It feels safe right up until it isn't. The recall was real. The bacteria was real. The risk to vulnerable skin was real. This is a documented recall you can look up. And this wasn't a tiny batch quietly pulled from one warehouse. It was a nationwide recall of a product marketed for the most fragile, broken skin, the very people who reach for something called healing in the first place. The cruel irony writes itself. The more damaged your skin, the more you trusted this bottle, and the more an infection could cost you. For families using this on grandchildren during visits, or for anyone managing a chronic condition that weakens immunity, this isn't just a bad lotion. It's an open door for infection on skin that can least afford it. Jergens never positioned itself as risky. That's what makes it land harder. It marketed itself as healing, as the gentle helper for hands that crack in winter. If a bottle stamped with the word healing can hide living bacteria, what about the brands that wrap themselves in the word dermatologist? Let's talk about the one that built its whole identity on that promise. At number 6, Lubriderm. This is the brand that leans hard on one powerful word: dermatologist developed. Marketed for sensitive and aging skin, the kind of skin that needs care, not chemistry. The bottle feels clinical, trustworthy, almost medical. But turn it around and read closely. Some formulas contain parabens, fragrance compounds, and penetration enhancers. That last term should stop you cold. Penetration enhancers are designed to drive ingredients deeper into your skin. So whatever else is in that formula goes deeper too. The fragrance goes deeper. The preservatives go deeper. You are not just coating your skin, you are pushing chemicals past its defenses. Consumer complaints have piled up around irritation and allergic skin reactions, redness, itching, stinging on skin that was supposed to be soothed. These aren't rare flukes, they're a pattern of complaints. Here is where your age and your medicine cabinet collide. Older adults taking blood pressure medications or steroids often have a thinner, more fragile skin barrier. Steroids in particular can thin the skin over time. When that barrier is already compromised, irritants and fragrance allergens slip through more easily and inflammation sets in faster. The very people this brand targets, mature and sensitive skin, are the people most likely to react. Dermatologist developed doesn't mean dermatologist safe. Picture it. You pump a moisturizer marketed as gentle. The lotion smells faintly clean and feels light going on. Instead, within hours, a patch of skin turns warm and red and tight, maybe a little itchy at the edges. You blame your skin. You blame the dry season. You should be blaming the formula. For anyone on daily medication that thins the skin barrier, or anyone applying this to delicate areas twice a day for years, those fragrance compounds and parabens are not harmless extras. They're a slow irritation you've been told to ignore. And because it's spread thin and absorbed fast, you never connect the reaction to the cause. The word dermatologist on a label is marketing language, not a medical guarantee. And there's no rule stopping a brand from printing it on anything they sell. A real dermatologist might never recommend that exact formula to a patient with thin, reactive skin. So if a clinical-sounding brand can let you down, surely the ones waving the word natural are the honest ones, right? Don't count on it. The next brand built an entire personality around sounding wholesome. Now at number 5, St. Ives. This brand wears the word natural like a costume. Collagen, oatmeal, soothing botanicals splashed across the label. It's built to appeal to anyone reaching for something gentle, something close to nature. The scrubs and lotions feel thick and indulgent, almost like a spa treatment you can afford. Then you look at what dermatologists actually say. Multiple St. Ives formulas have been criticized for strong fragrance blends and preservatives linked to contact dermatitis. Contact dermatitis is not a minor annoyance. It's an inflamed, itching, sometimes blistering reaction where your skin essentially declares war on what you put on it. Once it starts, it can take days to settle. And that famous apricot scrub has its own reputation for being rougher on skin than the gentle marketing suggests, with crushed shell particles that can leave microscopic tears. Natural is the promise. Irritation is the delivery. The danger sharpens with age. Seniors managing diabetes or circulation problems, alongside anyone with a history of sensitive skin, heal more slowly when skin is chronically irritated. Already fragile skin that gets inflamed again and again struggles to repair itself. Small breaks linger. Redness becomes routine. Each application reopens the cycle, and a barrier that never fully heals lets more irritants and bacteria through. Imagine massaging in a lotion that smells like fresh fruit, trusting that word natural printed right there in friendly green letters. The texture is rich, the scent is bright, everything signals wholesome. Then your skin tightens, flushes, and begins to itch by evening. You assume the weather dried you out, or that you're just getting older. The truth is, the fragrance and preservatives are quietly inflaming the barrier you're trying to protect. For families using this on multiple generations, or anyone with diabetes whose skin already heals at half speed, those botanical claims are a costume over a chemical reaction. Natural is one of the least regulated words in all of skincare. Anyone can print it on a label without proving a single thing to anyone. There's no test, no standard, no inspector checking whether natural means anything at all. St. Ives prints it loud and proud in friendly fonts beside pictures of fruit. But if a brand that whispers nature can sting your skin, what about the brand that sells you a whole mood, an entire scented experience? The next one floods your senses on purpose. At number 4, Bath & Body Works. This isn't really sold as skincare. It's sold as an experience. Warm vanilla, sugared berries, tropical escapes in a bottle, rich formulas that feel like luxury. People buy it for the scent as much as the skin. That's the whole problem. Independent ingredient reviews have repeatedly flagged high fragrance concentrations and allergen-heavy essential oil blends across many of these products. That gorgeous smell is not free. It's a dense cloud of fragrance chemicals your skin and lungs absorb every time you apply it. And you apply it generously because it smells that good. Here's the betrayal. The thing you love most is the thing harming you. And it hides in plain sight because pleasure feels like proof of safety. Now layer on real-life over 50. Adults with asthma, hypertension, or medication-triggered sensitivity can react to heavy fragrance with headaches, respiratory irritation, and inflammatory skin flare-ups. You rub it on in a small, steamy bathroom, an enclosed space with the door shut, and breathe that fragrance deep into your lungs while your skin soaks it in. 2 doors into your body at once, the skin and the breath. For anyone whose airways are already sensitive, that's not pampering. That's provocation. And the more you love the scent, the more you reapply, the heavier the exposure climbs over months and years. Picture the ritual. You slather on a scented lotion. The bathroom fills with that sweet cloud, the mirror fogs, and you feel indulged and treated. An hour later comes a dull headache, a tight chest, a patch of irritated skin you can't explain. You'd never connect it to the lotion you adore, because how could something that smells like a vacation be the culprit? The product you reach for as a treat may be quietly triggering the very symptoms you take medication to control. For anyone on blood pressure or asthma medication, or anyone applying scented lotion daily in a closed room, this is fragrance overload disguised as self-care. Strong scent is engineered to sell the bottle, not to soothe your skin, and the formula is built around the perfume first and the skin second. So if the loud, scented brands are a problem, surely the plain, old-fashioned classics your mother trusted are safe. The next one is exactly that kind of household name, and it's hiding more than you think. What's the worst reaction a lotion ever gave you? A rash? A burn? An itch that wouldn't quit? Drop your story in the comments below. Number 3 is one most people trust without question: Nivea. That iconic blue tin, that deep blue bottle recognized in nearly every country on Earth. For dry and mature skin, Nivea feels like a safe default, the moisturizer your family has reached for across decades, maybe the one your own mother kept on the nightstand. That long history is exactly the trap. Several Nivea products contain mineral oil, fragrance, and comedogenic ingredients. Comedogenic means pore clogging. Dermatologists warn these ingredients can trap bacteria against the skin and worsen irritation in sensitive users. What feels like a shield can quietly become a lid. The thick, occlusive feel you associate with protection can also seal problems in. Decades of trust. Decades of clogged pores. The age angle here is sharp. Older adults with diabetes or poor circulation face a real risk of skin breakdown and delayed healing when pores become inflamed or infected. On skin that already heals slowly, a trapped, inflamed pore is not a small thing. It can become a stubborn sore, an entry point for infection, a wound that lingers for weeks and refuses to close. The very heaviness that feels comforting is what locks bacteria and sweat against fragile skin. Think about the routine. You smooth on that rich cream, feel the dense barrier settle over dry skin. Breathe in that familiar powdery scent and trust it because you always have. But underneath that seal, in warm, moist conditions, clogged pores can quietly inflame. You don't see it happening. You just feel the comfort and assume comfort means safety. By the time a sore appears, you've long stopped suspecting the cream. For anyone with diabetes or circulation problems, or anyone applying a heavy occlusive cream daily for years, that mineral oil and fragrance combination is not the gentle protection the blue tin promises. A brand can be famous, beloved, and global, and still be the wrong choice for aging skin. Recognition is not the same as safety. The fact that a billion people use it does not mean it suits your skin, your conditions, or your medications. That's 3 brands down, brands you've very likely owned at some point, maybe all 3 sitting in your cabinet right now. It gets worse because the next one targets families on a budget, the people who can least afford a reaction and tend to share one bottle among everyone in the house. If this helps you stay safer at the store, hit subscribe right now. It's completely free, and it means you'll never miss one of these exposés again. The number 1 brand on this list is in almost every American home, sitting in a cabinet you probably opened this week. And what dermatologists quietly warn about it will change the way you see that familiar bottle forever. Coming in at number 2, Suave. This is the budget aisle champion. Marketed as low-cost family skincare, aloe, and cocoa butter formulas priced so the whole household can use it freely. Affordable feels responsible. That's the pitch, and it's a good one. But affordable has a hidden cost the label never prints. Consumer testing groups have criticized some Suave products for using inexpensive preservatives and synthetic fragrance systems associated with skin irritation. To hit that low price, corners get cut, and the cheapest ingredients are often the ones your skin tolerates least. A formula gets cheap somewhere, usually in the preservative and fragrance system. The savings are on the shelf. The cost lands on your skin. Now bring in the over 50 reality. People taking multiple medications, which describes a huge share of adults over 50, can develop heightened sensitivity reactions. Many common prescriptions, from blood pressure drugs to diuretics, increase how reactive your skin is to fragrances and preservatives. So the same cheap lotion that one person tolerates can trigger another person's redness, itching, and chronic dryness, simply because of what's in their medicine cabinet. The cheapest bottle, applied to the most sensitive skin, is a quiet collision nobody sees coming. Picture a whole family sharing one big pump bottle on the bathroom counter. The grandkids use it after a bath, you use it before bed, everyone trusts it because it's mild and inexpensive and it's always been there. Then your skin starts itching and flaking, and you blame dry weather or old age or hard water. The synthetic fragrance and bargain preservatives are doing exactly what bargain ingredients do, day after day. For families pumping this daily across generations, or anyone on multiple medications that raise skin sensitivity, This is irritation sold as savings. Cheap skincare isn't a deal when your skin pays the difference in redness and broken barriers. And the people most likely to buy the cheapest bottle are often the very same people on the most medications, on fixed incomes, stretching every dollar. The math is cruel. The bottle that costs the least lands on the skin least able to absorb the damage. But surely the brand famous for protecting the driest, most damaged skin is the trustworthy one, right? The brand built on healing has its own surprise waiting in the #1 spot, and it's the most trusted name of them all. Comment if any one of these 7 brands is sitting in your bathroom right now. Let's see how many of us trusted the wrong bottle for years. We're counting down to the most trusted name in all of skin protection, a product you've very likely owned your entire adult life. The concerns hiding behind it are the single most surprising reveal on this whole list. And the #1 moisturizer to avoid, Vaseline. This name is practically a synonym for skin protection. For generations, people have trusted Vaseline lotions to seal in moisture and shield extremely dry, cracked skin. It sits in nearly every American home, in the medicine cabinet, by the kitchen sink, in the travel bag. That universal trust is exactly why this one stings. Some Vaseline lotion variants contain fragrance additives and petroleum-derived compounds that critics argue can aggravate sensitive skin, despite the brand's whole gentle, protective reputation. The very products sold as the rescue for damaged skin may be making certain skin worse. The savior becomes the problem, and the deeper your trust, the longer you ignore the signs. Here's the danger that doesn't make the commercials. Seniors with eczema, circulation problems, or immune disorders, along with anyone applying heavy occlusive lotion daily, can experience worsening irritation when thick products trap sweat and bacteria against the skin. Occlusive means it forms a seal. On healthy skin, that seal locks in moisture. On compromised skin, the same seal locks in heat, sweat, and microbes against a barrier already struggling to hold together. For someone with eczema or poor circulation, that trapped warm environment is exactly where irritation festers and infection begins. Imagine reaching for the one product you've trusted your entire life to fix dry, broken skin. You smooth on that thick, glossy layer expecting relief, feeling that familiar slick seal settle over the cracks. Instead, underneath the seal, sensitive or eczema-prone skin grows warm, damp, and irritated. And you can't understand why the thing that always helped is suddenly hurting. So you apply more, thinking you need extra, and the seal grows heavier. For anyone with eczema or an immune disorder, or anyone sealing fragranced occlusive lotion over fragile skin every single day, this is not the simple protection the name promises. The most trusted name in skin protection is, for some skin, the riskiest choice on this entire list. And because the trust runs so deep, the warning signs get ignored the longest. People blame the eczema, blame the weather, blame their age, never the jar they've leaned on for 50 years. 7 brands, 7 names you've probably owned, all promising to care for your skin while doing the opposite. But here's the good news, and it's real. 2 brands actually deliver what every bottle on this list only claimed. Which brand on this list surprised you the most? Tell me down below because I read the comments myself, and I'm genuinely curious what shocked you. So don't give up on moisturizer. And don't resign yourself to itchy, flaking, damaged skin for the rest of your life. 2 brands tested clean, kept their formulas honest, and earned the trust the other 7 only borrowed and betrayed. Here is exactly what to reach for instead, starting tonight. Safe pick #1, CeraVe. Finally, a moisturizer that repairs instead of pretending. CeraVe was developed with dermatologists, and its whole approach is the opposite of everything we just exposed. Fragrance-free, built around ceramides and hyaluronic acid, ingredients that actually rebuild your skin barrier rather than masking dryness under heavy perfume. There's no scented cloud, no allergen-packed essential oil blend, no penetration enhancer driving irritants deeper. Open the tub and there's almost no smell at all, and that's the point. That faint, clean nothing is the absence of the fragrance chemicals that flare aging skin. Spread it on and it sinks in quietly. No sting, no warmth, no tightening an hour later. The credibility is real too. CeraVe is accepted by the National Eczema Association and widely recommended by dermatologists, not because of clever marketing, but because the ingredient list is simple and extensively tested. While Jergens was recalling bacteria-contaminated bottles and Lubriderm leaned on the word dermatologist, CeraVe just quietly does the work. The ceramides matter especially as you age because mature skin loses them naturally, and that loss is a big reason older skin cracks and thins. Putting them back is real repair. For adults over 50, this is the difference that counts. The formula lowers irritation risk while helping aging skin hold moisture safely, even during medication use that thins or sensitizes the skin barrier. No fragrance to trigger a reaction. No occlusive traps sealing in bacteria. Just steady, boring, effective barrier support, day after day. It costs a few dollars more than a bargain bottle. You're not paying for scent or a heritage story. You're paying for skin that's actually protected and a formula proven instead of just promised. That is what every brand on the avoid list pretended to offer, and CeraVe simply delivers. Safe pick number 2, Vanicream. If CeraVe repairs, Vanicream removes the suspects entirely. This is the brand built for the most reactive skin on Earth. Vanicream avoids dyes, fragrance, parabens, formaldehyde releasers, and many common allergens hiding in mainstream moisturizers. Read that list again, slowly, because it's basically every irritant we flagged in the brands to avoid, deliberately left out of the jar. Where St. Ives hid fragrance behind the word natural and suave, used bargain preservatives, Vanicream strips. The formula down to what skin actually needs and nothing it has to fight. Allergists and dermatologists reach for it first when a patient reacts to everything else, and its ingredient transparency is among the strongest in American skincare. Open the jar, and there's no perfume, no color, no surprise waiting. Smooth it on, and it's plain in the best possible way. A soft, unscented cream that absorbs without drama. No warmth, no itch, no mystery flare 2 hours later. For skin that's been burned by everything else, that quiet is a relief you can feel. The age connection is exactly where it shines brightest. Older adults with diabetes, kidney disease, or chronic skin sensitivity are far less likely to experience the inflammatory reactions that can spiral into infections or open skin damage. It won't dazzle you with scent or luxury packaging or a royal-sounding history. When your skin heals slowly and your medications raise sensitivity, the safest formula is one that gives your skin nothing to react to. It will simply not betray you. For anyone over 50 whose skin and medicine cabinet are already complicated, that boring, dependable reliability is the single most valuable thing a moisturizer can offer. Safe isn't exciting, but after 7 brands that betrayed you, safe is what your skin has been waiting for. 7 betrayals, 1 shelf that needs cleaning. Your skin deserves protection, not chemistry. Subscribe now, and if you're watching on TV, tap your remote so you never get blindsided again.